on my face. And for whatever reason, I have not been able to turn this smile backwards in any way. I just been having a natural smile all day, and for good reason. Matter of fact, seven good reasons. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Views from the 22, live on the scene. Mo Schefter, Vic Jr., and as always, the man, the DJ, Germ So True is in the building. And as you know, if you don't know, for those of you who do know, there's a slightly agitated Germ tonight. So just beware. Caution ahead. Vic Jr. smiling because Vic Jr. feeling good, but Vic Jr. also slightly agitated. Me, I don't know if agitated is the word. Disappointment is the word, but we'll get to the negative reasons later on in the show. Let's start it off light. Vic Jr., how you feeling tonight, baby?
I feel good, man. You know, it's funny how it's a relief. The season is over. Again, you know, Germ said that the other night. It's not us wanting to be right, but it's us wanting to make sure we know what we're watching in the lab. Is that how you said it? It's not word
I
for
mean,
word, right? But
good enough, man. Good
you
enough,
know,
man.
and it's just I don't want to, I don't want to make it sound like fandom type stuff, man. But what we watched, what we witnessed, what has been done for this season on this football team is, I mean, the news that is pouring in right now. Germ is gonna get to it. We're both gonna get to it. It's just unbelievable. I mean, this gives me chills. And if you don't get chills off of this, it's just a different level of I don't know all types of adjectives you can throw in there.
Vic, it's not fandom when it's objective. It's not fandom to appreciate the level of greatness that is Tom Brady. We're not going to be around the bush.
Mm-mm.
And if some of you might be like, "Oh, here we go. They're going to talk about Tom Brady again." Who else are we supposed to talk about? Who are we not supposed to celebrate champions? Are we not supposed to revere in greatness? Are we not supposed to
So
find joy and happiness in watching excellence continue to excel?
most of
Yes, sir.
the problem is that we've been programmed as humans to accept second place, to accept third place, to settle for less. And it's not just in sports, it's in life. So when you settle for less, yes, you celebrate a playoff appearance. Or you celebrate, oh, they got to the playoffs and they won one game. Nah, you play professional sports. You pay to play professional sports. You're paid to work your job. You're supposed to keep pursuing excellence.
In everything
Doesn't
that you
matter
do.
in everything that you do.
Absolutely.
So who's gonna talk about second place? What's that term? Everybody forgets second place.
What does it take to be number one? Two is not a winner. And three, nobody remembers. Shout out to Nelly. Germ, how you feeling tonight?
I feel like we got a lot of BS going on out here in the streets. I feel like I've been saying this for a while. I mean, one of my illustrious one-liners today was complaining equals excuses.
Yeah.
And
Facts
why I
indeed.
say that is because all the complaining that we see from everybody in their everyday life, it's a lot of people just making excuses. I can't wake up in the morning and make up an excuse or complain to a client that I have to help. You can't wake up in the morning and complain that you had to get up in the morning. You just got to get to the terminal in the morning. So we can't make excuses. So when you watch people make excuses, you just watch them make excuses based on the desire to not do better,
Mm.
the desire for mediocrity. And I'm not saying that being mediocre or regular is bad. I'm just saying that's the problem with society because we always have more to offer than what we actually offer. The bare minimum doesn't get us anywhere. It's a reason why the hardest workers get paid the least and the people who work the less get paid the most.
Mm.
But
Where'd my camera go? I don't know what. I'm sorry. My Zoom just kind of zoomed out, so to say.
Mm.
Jerm, all absolutely excellent points. Let's just dive into this because there's a lot to talk about. But Vic, just last thing I'm gonna say, last little quote I'm gonna throw out your way from a great champion in his own right. If you ain't first, you're last. Remember that? He also said, if you don't chew big red, you can fill in the blanks. Let's get to the game. Let's get to what we saw last night. And let's start with the champions. Because make no mistake about it, it's all about the champions. All if with Germ, this is what the maybe fourth or fifth Super Bowl show that we have done post. And we always start off with the champions. We always, I know the comments and everything, and everybody wants to focus on the negativity and the referees and the yada yada and the blah blah blahs. We are going to talk about greatness tonight. We will get to the other stuff, but we are going to keep it on greatness. And let's start. Let's start with the Buccaneers defense, fellas, because this Buccaneers defense last night played arguably their best game of the season, perhaps the best game together as a collective unit. And it's funny. We've been talking about it all week, gentlemen. How do you stop this high-powered offense? What do you do against Patrick Mahomes? And while, yes, I was, protecting the energy, I wholeheartedly agreed and saw for myself what German Vic was talking about. We're like, yo, this could really not be as close as we think because there was it was all about execution. It was all about the defensive philosophy. Had they gone in there with the usual Todd Bowles approach, then yeah, it'd have been 49-48. But instead, they got in the lab themselves. And this is why we say lab is consistent. So when we talk about something as to what the approach should be, and that approach happens and that team wins, it's not because we reinvented something. It's simply because we saw what they saw. Vic, Germ, whoever wants to start it off, talk to me about the Buccaneers defense last night and the way they approached the game plan of defending this high-powered offense.
Yeah, no, like I was telling the fellas earlier, folks, before we went live, I had a few questions that I had written down here on my notebook, my little film study notebook that I have,
Mhm.
and there was a few questions that I wanted answered, so I was gonna keep some tallies. So I got about a 2 hour head start before we went live now, and because of those questions and because of how amazing this game plan was defensively, I haven't even gotten past the first quarter. There's several stamps here, fellas. If you want to see right now, I can open it. It's just some of the coverages, some of the things that they decided to do was unbelievable.
You know what?
And
Get him a sneak peek. Get him a sneak peek.
say no more,
While
dog.
you pull him up, uh,
With the share thing.
it's on. It's
you
on
gonna
for
start
me.
sharing now,
Yeah,
or you got to
go
set it
ahead.
up?
No, it's here.
Okay,
It's here.
let's turn off our video. Little pop-up lab right now. We will now listen. This doesn't change the fact that we are going to have a lab show later this week. So this is a little preview. Once again, one of these days, and you know what? I'm gonna save this one for myself because I'm gonna just protect the energy of this one. I just got a business idea, Germ, MJ,
Mhm.
Ron.
Here's the first thing. This is the second play that they do this. I'd have to look for the other one. But we got three safeties already lined up
Mm-hmm.
at the top of the field.
Mm-hmm. Vic, before you go,
Hmm.
when I saw this play live, and shout out to CBS, who did a great job of, at least for a couple of seconds, showing the full defense, which helped a lot for me at
Yes.
least, and I'm sure for the fellows. When I saw this live, all I kept screaming was, do not blitz them all.
No.
Everybody on the line of scrimmage there, that's all I was screaming. Do not blitz them all. Go ahead, sir.
Well, with this one, Mo, they did blitz.
They did,
They
yes.
blitzed the corners, but they dropped back the linebacker.
Yep.
Is
The
it?
defensive end, I think it was. Go ahead, run it.
Yeah, let's run it because it was they flipped it in two different looks here.
Yep. I can't wait for you to show this. I'm gonna shut up.
Here we go. Yeah. So this one was the
Boom.
cornerback. So we got cornerback number one here. That's Bunting. Cornerback number two here. I think that's number 35, Jamel Dean. They had the three safeties up. Now we get into a cover four look with the linebackers ended up pulling off. They were sugaring the A gap, right? Meaning filling the A gap, and now they spread out into a coverage underneath. So Pat makes a really nice move here to buy himself some time
Absolutely does.
because Jamel was kind of hesitant on this right here. But again, this is just simply showing some of the coverages, some of the ways they confused not only Pat but the receivers as well. Um, that was that throw into the end zone. I'll try to real quick look for the other, unless you want to say something else here, Mo.
Well, the one thing I want to say is that the important thing about this is that the two underneath linebackers are protecting the inside of the field. Anything inside and underneath, they are protecting.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got everything on the outside with the quarters, you got bracket coverage everywhere. So you are forcing Mahomes to take the check down.
Which they don't have.
And the great thing about the Buccaneers is, listen, man, this game, as sophisticated as it is, comes down to a few basic things. Most important being tackling.
Yes. And then so it's just again just so many coverages. I've had to watch these plays at least 10 times each. Again, this is a pretty move that he made here. But there's some plays where he didn't have a check down moment, and then there was some plays where he did. But again, that youth, how young he is, and not being taught certain things, he just didn't take those checkdowns. The checkdowns were available, and you just got it. You have to make sure that the defense is aware that you're willing to take those checkdowns. Let me open that again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember a safety who was a rookie ever looking the way Antoine Winfield did
Yeah,
as a rookie.
there's a lot of plays where he just looks like he knows exactly what he's doing, like he's been in it for a few years already. There is certain plays where he could take better um, angles and stuff like that. But hold on, I think is what's that Q3 1134. This might be it right here, fellas. Yes,
Dare
it
I
is.
say, Vic, it's a little Troy Polamalu-ish.
Yes. So again, here the three safeties up top. They're taking each a third of the field.
Yup.
And we're gonna see a little bit now, a little bit different type of look on this one. This was before that other play.
I mean, this is so good. This is so good.
He has a check down open here, but he goes to the corner route where he actually had it open for a second.
He had both guys open, to be honest.
Yeah. So let's look at it again before we get the end zone view real quick. Again, we'll get to a live show where we could better break them down, kind of analyze everybody's job here. But you have the linebackers there again, sugaring the gaps.
They come this time,
Yes.
but they also bring down those two safeties.
But they bring down the two safeties into a cover one look to make sure they got the underneath.
That is so freaking pretty.
Now watch what they did with the blitz though, Mo. This was only apparently they only had 5 blitz in the
Oh
whole
my
game, Mo.
God, I got goosebumps. I'm sorry. That is
So
sexy.
they had 5 blitz. Basically, a blitz for those that don't know is any five or more defenders. So you got the 4 guys that usually come in, and then it's considered a blitz when you send a 5th guy. And they only did it 5 times in this game. 2 of them so far in the first quarter that I've tallied. So you see, you got the linebackers, but look at what they end up doing this time with the linebackers. Instead of dropping that back in coverage, they do a little stunt here. So you're gonna have the defensive ends crash to get the tackles and the guards to have to make some decisions here.
I mean, that's an inaccurate throw.
Yeah. I mean, and Germ and I were discussing it. There's a lot of work that Pat still has to do.
Absolutely,
I I have
absolutely.
I have a long list of things Pat needs to work on because they're already pushing that greatness thing on him, and I just see another A-Rod story coming through with it. So I'm just saying, folks, we're gonna get in the lab. We're gonna study him more as we get a little bit more time. But I got my questions about the kid right now. And again, he was pressured a lot. That's not his fault. The offensive line was bad. But again, another thing that we're gonna discuss, fellas, is the West Coast philosophy. I think where it's that pass first mentality. Basically, it's called they consider it pass to score, run to win. So
Your
basically,
pass
they get
sets up the run.
right. So they want to set up the run with the pass instead of the other way around. So they're gonna try to pass. But then if you have a situation where you don't have a run game, you don't have the offensive line, you're gonna be exposed. You're gonna expose your offense and you're gonna expose your quarterback.
Yeah.
So just to I don't know
Oh,
what
sorry.
he's gonna argue with me about it, but
Who?
I'm no argument. No
No,
argument.
no. Vic,
okay.
we've been talking about this now though for a
Yeah.
while. Like Pat is a rule breaker. We've talked about this over and over and over again. Well, guess what? Todd Bowles is the principal chief, and that man put him in detention last night for all the rules he's been breaking. And the reality is, yes, the tackles weren't very good, but when we show the film, and I haven't even gotten to the film yet, but when we show the
That's the
film,
second drive only. That's only the second drive.
I can promise you that there are plays where guys were open, and I can further promise you that there are plays where he could have done a better job in the pocket. We saw that
Yes.
stat. He ran for 497 yards yesterday. Not ran for, rather. He ran 497 accumulated yards throughout the game. That is insane. That is insane. The tackles could be bad. Mahomes is in no shape or way exempt from this. And
Nope.
I'm not going to kill him, but the criticism will come because it needs to come. And
You want
listen,
to
go ahead.
go ahead and finish that.
No,
Finish that.
no,
And
go
I'll
ahead,
go.
go ahead, go ahead.
Here's the problem. I finally decided that I will watch just a little bit because I wanted to hear from the players last night. So of course, when you want to hear from the players, of course you got to hear from some analysts.
Mm,
So I heard one of the guys who was one of the hosts talking to Michael Irvin and talking to Mooch,
okay.
and they were talking, and they kept saying Pat Mahomes was great and or great who was all this greatness and everything else. And Michael Irvin kept saying Pat Mahomes is a great talent, but he has not achieved greatness yet.
Ooh.
Greatness is when you are doing something on a reoccurring fashion. And when
Mhm.
Michael Irvin said that, I said, wow. So Michael Irvin also was saying there was no way that the Bucks was going to come out here and lose this game on their home field to this team after the way they lost and after what we seen in the third and fourth quarter of the last time they played. He also said in so many words that ultimately there's a reason Brady's here. And it's a reason why they're going to have a chance to repeat next year. This team was only every player who scored in this game was not with the team at the beginning of the season. So that means when
Yep.
Brady was signed, everybody came after him.
They all came because Brady was there.
Correct.
No
Gronk
mistake
said,
about it.
I'm not going to put all of our business out there, but I've been waiting on Tom. I waited for Tom to sign, and then Tom called me. Leonard Fournette said, hey, man, Devin White and Tom Brady both called me and asked me to come be a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Who was that?
Leonard Fournette.
Oh, okay.
Devin
yeah,
White.
they boys. Yeah, they boys.
So not only that, AB started crying at the end of the press conference when they were talking about Tom Brady.
Man.
He said, this dude he put a lot of things in my life into perspective.
Man.
And without him, I wouldn't be in this situation.
Jeez.
Dude, we talking about all of these dudes. Now, Mike Evans is saying, yo, Bruce, take some of my money and pay it to Chris Godwin.
Yup.
Mike Evans said in his press conference, I've been thinking about this all year. I don't want to lose Chris. I don't want to lose Chris. Chris Godwin, CG is my guy. It will hurt my heart to lose him. I want him to play next to me next year.
Oh, the Brady effect, 100%.
Yes.
These
100%.
dudes are saying
100%.
this man has, I mean, this, like, I'm not even talking about Brady at this stage right now. These players have completely said, we don't care about money. We don't care about none of this. We all got money. And we all got number 12 who are going to help us find ways to make more money from the back end. They said, we just want to win. And this dude gives us the opportunity to win.
Yeah.
Devin White, all of these dudes, man, dude, this team is different.
Yeah.
These dudes, Antonio Brown, I would love to come back. If you see these dudes signing for tenders, $3, $4, $5, $6 million tenders and
Yeah. Vic, I mean, Germ, just to say something real quick, right?
Go ahead, bro.
For those just focus on what Germ just said, right? My pops got a quote, and he says it in Arabic, and it translates to soul of a competitor or soul of competition. You know, things get lost in translation, but it is. I love the way it's said in the Arabic language because it is just there's just a gladiator type of feel to it, and Vic knows what I'm talking about in terms of like just that part of the world and the way words tend to come together. But this is why they play the game. Shout out to Herm Edwards. Like athletes compete to win. They're not busting their butt off to go entertain your fantasy team every Sunday. You out your mind if that's what they think. They are grinding 365 days a week, 366 on a leap year, because they want to taste that ultimate prize. It's not the money is gonna come. Like the money is gonna come regardless of what. As long as they know that the money is gonna come, whether they're in the Super Bowl or whether they won in 15. As long as they showing up and putting on the uniform, they are getting paid. But it is all about winning. Vic, I got another point to make. Anything you want to add to that before we go to that point?
Real quick. Shout out to Jay-Z. Your go. Little by little. We gotta talk about what I was saying anyway, behind the scenes. He said, Stephen A. Smith on his show, Stephen A. Smith said that he was talking to Jay-Z. And Jay-Z came up to him and said, this is gonna be a blowout, Stephen A. And Stephen A., as dramatic as he is, you know how it is? Are you out your damn mind, Jay? He said, Stephen A. Smith, this is gonna be a blowout. And the GOAT is gonna show you who the GOAT is.
You serious?
He said, shout out to Jay-Z for predicting this blowout. Number two, real quick. Now that you were saying, now we don't have to get off of it.
That's the best thing I heard all day, Vic.
So this whole thing about Brady not being on the athlete list, according to Jamal Hill. Shout out to her because she's great.
Absolutely.
She's awesome.
Absolutely.
I love her. But the definition of an athlete, Mo, is a person who participates. I gotta
throw up your W's for Webster. No, throw up your W's for Webster. Because we gotta put it into perspective.
Yes.
Because y'all don't be knowing what the words y'all be using.
I love it. I love it.
Go ahead, Webster Jr.
Yo, I lost it. I gotta go ahead. Yo,
definition of an athlete. The definition of an athlete.
I lost it again, and because I wanted.
You posted it on Facebook. The definition of an athlete.
No, let him
I'll-
finish. No, he want to make sure he get the definition out. So let him get
yes,
the whole definition out, bro. Take your time, brother.
Yeah.
Take your time, brother.
a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. That's another definition. But the point is that not only an athlete, it's not about how you look running around the field and stuff like that. It's the effort that you put in on the field and outside the field. So again, this is another example of people not understanding what Brady does within the pocket, the athleticism he displays there, plus the velocity that he needs to get with his arms, and with the precision that he does as a passer, as well as the effort. That's why he created TB12. Okay, he has his own system of exercise. That is an athlete right there. Okay, so even if he's not your number one athletic person in the world, I'm fine with that. He's not the top athlete in the world. He has to be in that discussion because athlete does not mean how pretty you look running around the field. Okay, she added Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps to that list, and all they do is run straight or swim straight.
Oh wow.
So how is that more athletic
Oh
than what
wow.
Brady has to do on a football field?
Oh wow. It, it,
So
it,
Don't add me, Jamal.
yeah, Jeremy.
you know what? That's a hot take. So I just want to keep that where it is as a hot take. But let me make sure I say this to y'all so y'all understand. Mentally, the mentality of an athlete is something too. Because mentally, you have to be have a certain type of mental toughness and strength
Strength. Yep.
in order for you to be a champion. Being a champion is at 3 a.m. when you don't want to do this, and you gotta get up and you go to bed at 3 a.m. in the morning, and you gotta be up at 6, and you gotta get up and you gotta make sure you get that workout in to make sure that you still on par and on schedule to do the things that you have to do so you can be the best player, person, whatever you can be.
Yeah.
That's what makes greatness happen. So Mo, when we can't go to sleep at night and we up floating and we know we still got that alarm still got to go off in the morning because we still got a day to get started,
Man.
bro, we are practicing greatness.
Listen.
So at the end of the day, don't tell somebody that they're not a athlete to your standard based on a word that you're using based on your preference. Why don't you say your preference and not what an actual athlete is? This is why I say respectfully, y'all don't know what y'all be talking about. Y'all just be doing this. And I'm not speaking on anybody in particular. Jamel, y'all say she's great. I think she's a little too controversial, but that's just me. I think some of the things that come out of her mouth sometimes are a little too controversial.
Sure.
And I don't
Absolutely.
think certain things are well thought about. That's not saying she's bad. It's just saying I think at the end of the day, we have to think before we say certain things and make sure that we cover all bases because otherwise it comes off hot take-ish. And if I want a hot take, I just go listen to my own damn self. That's just me.
Well, it goes back to the fundamental principle. Like, first of all, shout out to the comments real quick. Dion saying, long story short, an athlete isn't completely defined by physical attributes. I love it. Yes, but physical attributes is part of the criteria. And it's not as that's all it is. And I could promise you this, right? It's just like the folks who would sit at home on Sunday afternoon with a what's that stupid little new drink that's the trend?
Red Bull?
Splitzer or a spritzer or truly
Those
what are they
sparkling
called?
water.
Whatever
The
the hell they
sparkling water?
called. Yeah, the
Yeah,
alcoholic sparkling beverages. None of them is
Mm.
paying them, so I ain't even gonna get a brand name. The alcohol and sparkling beverages, sitting there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, watching Tiger Woods miss a 16-foot putt, saying, "Oh, I could have done that." No, you couldn't. Just the same way, I promise you, without pads, if you sit in that pocket and watch Frank Clark and Chris Jones coming at you, you're not going to be able to evade the pressure and move your hips and move your feet and still maintain the ability to look downfield and throw a ball accurately while flexing all your core muscles in a sequential fashion. And I don't even know if sequential is a word, but damn it, add it to Webster, Chief.
Yeah.
Now that we got that out of the way.
What are we going to say after that?
Excellent points, gentlemen, all across the board, because we don't want to stay too long tonight. Let's get to the next point about Mahomes, right? We've seen this in the past. We've seen the quarterback start great, win early, and then they just fade into the background. Shout out to Neo. I can't sing like Germ. They just fade into the background. It comes a series of making it to the playoffs, losing in the division game, losing in the conference championship, losing 3 conference championships, whining and moaning about not getting calls for 6 years, trying to go to the league because you didn't get calls. I ain't throwing shade. Not tonight. It ain't even no sun out here where I'm at. The point of the matter is, fellas, we see now. Shout out to Todd Bowles. You don't need Stephon Gilmore and Devin McCourty and Jamie Collins and all. You don't need to have 7, 6 corners that can match up 1-on-1 to slow this team down. You need one collective unit. So now the blueprint is there. We saw what happened with the blueprint with Brady, with Manning, with Drew, with Aaron, with everybody. Nobody was exempt from what happened post blueprint production. What's going to happen with Mahomes now? Is the blueprint out? We know this roster is not going to stay together forever. We know it's not going to be young forever. We know it's not going to be this compilation of talent forever. Is it a matter of let's slow down on the greatness or a bump in the road?
I'll go first with that because I know Germ has plenty to say with that. I think that this kid is still a top 5 quarterback in this league. I think that the upside for him mentally, okay, which we choose to forget is important as a group of humans, okay. I think the upside is there. I am just a little questionable with him when it comes to like when you talk about the speed that Tyreek Hill has provided for that offense is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Then the way they scheme to get him open, to get him the ball, and even Travis Kelce and stuff like that. When it's time for him to not only get his mentality right, but his fundamentals right, that's when I want to see if he's going to develop into that next great quarterback that they're talking about he can be. Because yes, he has an arm. Yes, he can be accurate. But is he going to do those small details, the small fundamentals, the mentality to get better? That remains to be seen. I like Deshaun Watson a little bit more. I like Russ a little bit more. So there's a lot. I have a lot to say about it. I think I need to put it down in a scouting report where I can write down and think about it more as opposed to expressing it. But I got my reservations right now with the kid. Now, granted, the offensive line needs to get better, and they have to run the football. That goes for anybody. They have to. But there's only a select few of quarterbacks, Mo, that I think the only way you stop them is by creating pressure with 4, and that's Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson right now. Drew Brees was in there. So what I mean is coverages, it's hard to defeat them with coverages. When you get pressure with the front 4, that's the only way you could beat those guys. And Brady has shown that.
Time and time again. Time and time. Shout out to the Broncos who beat him by rushing 3, but that's because they had Von Miller. Go ahead, Jim.
Shout out to Bill Belichick for not getting him more than damn Gronk.
Man.
That's what the ultimate. Man, look, we ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. Listen, I don't want to go there. So look, everything Vic is saying is fair. I am past the troll stage of my life where I want to troll everything that Vic says. I mess with Vic sometimes just to mess with him. But the one thing that Vic is he's 159% fair. So at the end of the day, I can't be mad that he likes Deshaun more. I kind of like Deshaun more too, but because we scouted Deshaun and seen Deshaun play in professional type settings and be dominant and great. So I cannot disagree. I think Deshaun and Pat are the 2 best things we have for this league to carry on. I think Josh Allen and those other guys have to step up to their level.
Yes.
I think there is a gap between Deshaun and Pat, but I think that the gap is slight. It's a very small gap. But the gap when it comes to talent is on the other flip side. And I think Pat has more talent than Deshaun. That's where I think things balance it out and make it a lot closer. Is we got one guy who's extremely talented, who breaks every rules that you can break as a quarterback, and another guy who can't break the rules, but is an exception to a lot of other rules that most other quarterbacks are not very good at. Deshaun already plays in an EP system. Bill O'Brien being his head coach tells you intellectually, he's right there. What I just said to Vic earlier was simply, I think Andy Reid is the kryptonite here. And that's not saying Andy Reid is not good. That's saying that the air raid concepts and the West Coast, they kind of dull your quarterback down. And that's kind of where we go with Mahomes here. We have to incorporate the air raid to keep Mahomes interested, because the way that the West Coast offense is, it doesn't give any flavor.
That's
the air raid is like the salt that you add to it to give it the flavor it needs for the quarterback to like the taste of it,
to be interested.
And ultimately Vic, no, like like I said, we're just gonna laugh, we're just gonna talk ball. It doesn't make sense fundamentally for Pat to stick consistently play in this offense moving forward in his career, in my opinion, because the West Coast offense isn't enough for him. I think Pat needs to get another coach, but that will only happen when Andy retires. And that's not saying that Andy is a bad coach. He's top 5 in the league, top 5 in the world, Craig. Mm-hmm. But for this quarterback to reach his ceiling, we're going to need to see another offensive system under his belt. And it's going to have to be either an EP or an Air Coryell.
I got a lot to say. Some of it might be nitpicking.
No. Like, this is what we have in this conversation because we want to nitpick a little bit. We want to have fun with this.
Small. The gaps are that small. That's
so we kind of have to.
But what I'm saying
respectfully is how we do it tastefully.
Sure. Right. It's more meant. I'm not gonna. Where Andy Reid to me has shown an ability to evolve, and I think he deserves credit for that. What Absolutely. I will say is that, number one, eventually, no matter how glamorous something may be, no matter how complicated something may be, you see it over and over and over and over again, it's going to become easier to decipher. And so where I'm going to take your point, Germ, and go to this next point. I have, and this will be one of the last points, and we'll get to the comments and then we'll close it out. I don't remember a time where Andy Reid's team looked so unprepared. And to me, that's where the kryptonite lies, is that while, yes, you have had an ability to evolve, yes, you have shown an ability to evolve, what have you shown to make in-game adjustments? And I think that's where the little caveat lies, or the little loophole lies, or whatever terminology you want to use. Because yesterday was a matter of, we are going to do what we do, but it wasn't good enough. And there was nothing to change up. And that is not the first time we've seen that from Andy Reid. And that is also the very exact reason why he is, 0-4 against Belichick in the playoffs, and now 0-5 against Brady in the playoffs. Just saying. So, fellas, Vic.
So I see you kind of agree with where I'm coming from.
I do, with the only exception of the how we talked about the other day, this offense for the Chiefs, you can't put it in a box. Correct. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't want to, but it's kind of, it's restricted a little bit from the West Coast principles.
It is.
And that's what hurts them.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't allow you to attack all 3 levels of the field. And look, man, bro, this bag is different. That when you get to pulling out of these bags, it becomes different, because now we challenging something that people aren't thinking about. Cheetah Bow is not an X. Let me make sure I say that, y'all. Cheetah Bow is not an X, bro. He's a
He's not.
flanker. So
Yep.
what I want y'all to understand is in a regular offense that's not Andy Reid's West Coast, bro, Cheetah Bow is a flanker, just like Henry Ruggs. If Henry Ruggs was drafted by Andy Reid, he'd be just as good as Tyreek Hill.
I'm gonna say this as well. As good as Tyreek Hill, if I'm drafting and I got to pick between Tyreek or Emmanuel Sanders, guess who I'm picking?
Emmanuel Sanders.
100%.
And it's not because Tyreek Hill is not a good player. It's just because Emmanuel Sanders can play in every level of a defense. And that's a problem. See, that's the issue right there. The players are conformed to the system, but we don't know if these players can play outside of this system, which still restricts them because of the system. That's a problem for me. And see, dude, I'm telling
This is
y'all,
another show. This is
it's
another
it's
show.
so much stuff that I see from a week to week basis where how these players are used, and it's so many different pieces and puzzles. It's like we want to know why these offenses operate the way that they do.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just worried about the touchdown. I want to see how the touchdown was created.
Mm-hmm.
We are not the same.
Yep.
And that's what makes it different for us opposed to other people. So, look, man, this is different. I just got to say that, y'all. It's a lot of stuff that goes into this that people got to realize, man. Like, this is tough. But
No,
last thing, and I'm past it, let's just make sure that when we evaluate these players, that we evaluate them fairly based on the system that they play in. So the first thing you say is, don't say Corey Davis isn't good because he doesn't catch enough passes. Bro, that's not the system that he plays in. And an ex receiver doesn't always become Nuke. Y'all think everybody is supposed to be like Nuke. That's not possible.
Go ahead, Vic, before I get to the comments and close it out.
What Jeremy just said just kind of took my.
Well,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Real quick.
No, go ahead.
Again, to stress it, we're not criticizing Pat. We're not diminishing Pat here.
No, bro, he's
The fact
incredible.
that yes,
He's incredible.
at the end of the day, they have to get better at running the football. These West Coast thoughts and these West Coast principles, running the ball is such an important factor because as you saw, look at the space that they I just showed on the film that they had. And they had chunk yards every time they ran the ball. They have less than 3 yards in any of their runs. I think there was like 5, 11. There was a lot of chunk yards.
They had a couple, but at that time, I mean, it was just like the Bucks had fully committed, and then the linebackers was coming up, stopping them for 5 and 7.
No, they were but they were running the ball at a good pace. They were running the ball
at a
pretty
good
well.
chunk, right?
Yeah,
At a good clip. But you know what? That's to be expected, considering. Remember, Mo, you'll remember this. Denver, Peyton Manning. No Sean Marino, 200 yards. Peyton Manning threw 450. Yeah. Ain't that what you would? If you the Bucks, what would you rather give up? I'd rather give up my first 100-yard rusher. Well, listen, my second 100-yard rusher of the season, than to give Pat Mahomes 462 yards again.
Yes.
It's that simple. Like
that is an excellent point. Excellent point.
So
just those things. Just
make football common sense again. That's exactly what Todd Bowles did last night. Yeah, Vic.
Just to end my point, Mahomes has a lot of work to do before we elevate him, and I think that pressure, because there's a lot of things that we talk about too when it comes to Lamar Jackson. The pressure of winning that MVP award. Now look at this. We don't even know if he's going to get paid.
Man, this man big shot crazy.
The pressure that's being put on Pat, I think it needs to kind of. We can't let the media dictate. We cannot let the media dictate.
So shout out to everybody in the comments. Big Shot says, "One bad night doesn't dictate your future unless it's criminal or pregnancy." I mean, that's the fact, though. Big Shot. So,
my God,
that was in response to Trav saying, "Where do you go? No, Eric B is still head coach material. One bad night can't change the status like that. Talking
It's
about
not
Eric
on. But
B.
let's stop.
But he
It's
is
not on
deserving of
Eric B.
criticism.
This is not on Eric B. This is.
Uh,
I'm not gonna. No, we're not gonna do that, Mo. You know why it's not on Eric B? It's not on Eric B.
uh,
Pat Mahomes didn't play well. We're gonna call this what
listen,
it is. Pat didn't play well. The receivers dropped passes, and at the end of the day, he looked a little confused. He looked a little frustrated, and that's what you get. This is what you get in a situation like this. And Pat may not be a guy that can play when he's frustrated. This is something to look
Who
at
else?
when we
Who else? Who else can't
Lamar
play when not
Lamar,
frustrated?
Lamar Jackson can't play when he's
No, there's
frustrated.
another one. There's another
Aaron
one.
Rodgers,
Oh,
Josh
Aaron
Allen.
Rodgers can't play when he's frustrated either.
Josh Allen
But
can't play when he's frustrated.
but yes, you have to understand that frustration does cloud the judgment and the vision of a quarterback sometimes.
Yeah.
So that is a key thing to think about. That's why I'm not going to kill Eric B or Andy Reid too much. I do agree with what you said though, Mo, that Andy Reid's game plan has to have a little bit more depth.
Yeah. And I
It's
think
because it's really surface. You see what I'm saying?
listen, I agree.
Depth.
Oh, Joe
I
Burrow.
think that
Yeah.
coaching staff failed as a unit last night, with the exception of Steve Spagnuolo, because the Buccaneers just executed so well.
Real quick,
Yeah,
Mo.
Vic.
I think the only person, despite the fact that he played bad, the only person that showed up was Patrick Mahomes.
That's
Because
very fair.
Kelsey looked unmotivated. I don't know. Like, again, I read body language.
Absolutely.
I've just grown up with that kind of ability for some reason. I've done the whole personal training thing. I know, and and with athletes in the gym, I know when somebody does not look motivated. And Kelsey in the first quarter did not look motivated. When he sat on that field after getting the ball swapped out of his hands, he sat there for about 25 seconds with his hands in his face. Like, I'm like, all right, you still got more football to play. Can you get up?
Yeah.
And it just they all, everybody except Pat Mahomes stayed in Kansas City or something. Of course that Andy Reid's son situation is pretty tough on them too. But
It is. So I'm gonna get to the comments. Bear with me here. There's a lot. Shout out to everybody in the comments. First thing is Bruce Wade. Shout out to Bruce Wade. Says that Vic, he
shout out to
loves the
Bruce.
Mahomes analysis, but then he
Shout out to
says,
Bruce.
"How could Pat play with the D in his face all night?" I'm pretty sure YouTube is gonna censor that comment, Bruce. That was very positive material there. Big Shot says Bulls and Leftwich put on a clinic. They absolutely did. Tanya says that Kelsey gave up. Dion mentions that Frank Clark had a good game. Shout out to Dennis is in there. Jaquan is in there. Danny says, "What did I just walk into?" Um, Tanya
That was
says,
early.
"As someone who read dictionaries and encyclopedias for fun as a kid, I don't entertain over half these people because they're just talking to be talking." That listen, that I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Real
Uh,
quick,
I
Bruce,
don't know
for
who
Bruce.
DJ is. I no offense, I know like 7 DJs, but shout out to DJ. He says, "Hey,
Mhm.
yo, watching y'all boys while deployed. Shout out to you, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service. Hope you staying safe wherever classified place you are in this world." Dion says, "Dynasty pending. Hey, look, it might come." Everybody else in there talking about the culture. Shouting out Vita Via. Um,
Oh, there might be another dynasty.
who the Bucks? That's what he's talking
Hey,
about. He says Dynasty
no.
Can I
Oh, I
pending.
just
thought
say,
he was.
can I
I
have
thought he
fun
was
real
talking
quick?
about the Chiefs. I thought he was talking about the
No, no, no,
Chiefs.
no,
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 he's
no,
talking
no,
about the
no, no. I'm talking
Bucks.
about so let me say this too as well about the Bucks real quick too. I just want y'all to understand, man. This culture, man, is different. Like y'all keep saying this stuff about this narrative about Brady not making people better. I want y'all to understand something that's real. Bruce Arians at that press conference, he said Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich put that offense together.
Right.
Some of his concepts was in there,
Hmm.
but as we see after the bye week, that was Brady's offense mixed with some of his concepts.
Oh, that was 100%. That y'all keep talking about the system. It's his system.
uh, what my guy Deion Sanders said, that's his offense.
Yup.
That's that man's team.
Yup.
I want y'all to understand, man. Who when after this Super Bowl year, bro, there's no more writing on the wall about who's this or who's that. There's no more BS narratives about who's the best. There's just no more nothing. He beat Breeze. Y'all said Breeze was the most accurate ever. I don't know where that came from, but he wasn't accurate when he was supposed to be accurate.
Well, you
That's
run 80
completion
slants a
percentage.
game. You better have
Right.
a high percentage completion.
That
I
that
mean,
that's completion percentage. That they consider accuracy on completion percentage.
I know,
So
but I just want to put that out there. Y'all said Aaron Rodgers was the baddest man on the planet. He got 3 turnovers by his defense that everybody say is so bad, and did nothing with him.
what was the difference though, Jerm, between a interception at the 20 or a punt to the 20?
There is no difference.
Again, that's the stats. Got people like, oh man, he
Yeah.
played so bad.
Hey, listen. Go ahead,
He
Jerm.
did it last night. He
And
did it
and
last
and
night.
and then the situation with Pat was Pat got beat. I want y'all to understand this. Pat got beat last night because Pat simply was frustrated and the whole team was frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting hit all night.
Mm-hmm. They were, and they went. Hey, listen. Again,
They was under Coach Yost. We blitz all night.
except that they
They're
ain't
gonna make
blitz.
everything. Exactly. They're gonna remember this night when they played the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers when they played the Pirates. Listen,
It's just crazy.
closing. Let's go. Closing thoughts. Shout out to everybody in the comments. My closing thoughts is the Chiefs, the coaching staff failed. The players simply did not bring the energy. As for the Bucks, this defense, shout out to the coaching staff of the Buccaneers, Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich deserve a lot of credit. Shout out to Big Shot. His whole thing for the year was football maturity. Byron Leftwich, as an offensive coordinator, matured big time this season. Yeah, we're going to attribute that to the number one reason why the Buccaneers won a Super Bowl this year. Shout out to number 12 one more time before I go. He is the standard of quarterbacking. There is nothing left to say about it. Absolutely nothing left to say about it. 7 rings. I've been saying that all day for troll purposes and also for it to actually sink in my head that this man has 7 Super Bowls. It took the Steelers, sorry, Tanya, 77 years to get 6. The Patriots have all their 6 because of that man. This man got 7. How long the Cowboys been around? They only got 5.
The 60s, bro.
49ers, all their great history and all their great teams and all their great players, they got 5. 20 years, 7 rings. Dominance. Vic, closing thoughts.
Just looking forward to just check us with the lab. Bruce, shout out to you for jumping in and a few other new guys. But apparently he was had pressure 32% of the plays. So we're gonna evaluate that ourselves, right? So that means what? He had another 68% where he could have made some plays.
Quick math.
We'll see what happens. So again, we're gonna evaluate ourselves. Join us on the lab show. Whether it's Thursday, Saturday, I don't know what the guys have decided, but just join us for that, and we'll dig in deeper on what happened in that game and for patting them. But again, I'm just trying to enjoy this, man. There's a lot more. We didn't even get to some of the off the field points we wanted to talk about, but we'll save that for another day.
Oh man. Go ahead, Jerm. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save
it.
You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. So real quick.
What?
The dude.
What were we gonna do? What else were we gonna go do?
Oh, I still got work to finish up. The dude.
We got 15 extra minutes.
We got 6 minutes left. So
we got 15 minutes. We can go. We can
go
to
go live.
9:15. We go to 9:30.
No, 13 viewers. Stick around.
It's too late. They still here though.
No, yeah, I gotta put my son to bed. Let's do 9:15. 9:15. 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
That's all we need.
Y'all so janky.
I said that before in my life. Anyways, Listen.
All right, that's it. Live over. It's over now. I don't even want to do. I don't even want to participate now. That's the
So
first time I said this in my life. Lord,
the dude who ran on the field and showed his rear behind that nobody wanted to see.
Mhm.
The streaker of the Super Bowl. There's a backstory to it. I'm gonna let Vic tell his news first, and then I'm gonna go with mine. So Vic,
Well, I mean, listen, I didn't. I just saw it. I read it on Twitter. I didn't investigate, but he apparently was promoting a porn website. I do not know what the website is, and I did not want to look it up. So he was promoting a porn site. Now Mo has a different or
you're
another
supposed to
story added.
you're supposed to bring us in news. How do you not? Did you not go see what website is it? Is the website
Nah,
visible?
no,
Is there
no,
a free
no,
trial?
no. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I got
So
what I
here's
need.
here's the
I
news
got
that
what
I
I need.
got. Here's the news that I got, and this was verified on Twitter. Allegedly, apparently, this dude placed a bet of $50,000 that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl.
Oh no, dog.
He ended up winning $375,000 and paid $1,000 to get out of jail. From the things I have heard in my lifetime about the world, that man is either going to end up dead or in jail. Because that is big money with big
Mm-hmm.
time people that you messing with.
Danny says smart as hell. I don't know. Smart AF. I don't know. I don't
Look here,
know.
this is America. This is a free country. Yada, yada, yada.
Dog, that's crazy.
I, brother, whoever you are, you
Be
better
safe.
take that money, change your name, take off your Facebook. This is just my humble opinion, obviously, but I am concerned for his safety at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just me.
if he was smart, he would have just had somebody else do the streaking for him. But these
Exactly,
folks ain't
Darren.
smart.
Yes.
These folks ain't smart. Listen, man, world's dumbest damn criminals. Y'all are so damn dumb. Y'all get, hey man, y'all done, man, because I'm ready to go now. Y'all, man,
See,
what?
I
Man,
just
y'all
wanted
so
to, Jaron, I just wanted to bring up the halftime show. Shout out to the weekend. I thought it was a
yeah,
decent show. Some people said that they didn't like it.
it's
hey
all
man,
right.
what did y'all want him to do?
It was all right.
Jump off the building?
I don't watch halftime shows of the Super Bowl. So it
What did
is.
y'all? I want y'all to tell me what y'all wanted to do. Tell me in
I
the
just saw
comments.
the
What did y'all want
meme
him?
and was
What did y'all
weirded
want him to
out
do?
by the background. That's
What
it.
did you want him to do?
It was
I don't know.
decent. It was decent. I liked it.
He's not Michael Jackson. He's not all these other performers. He's not going to show up with this crazy live band. This is the problem with y'all. This is the problem with y'all folks. Y'all don't understand good music anyway. So let's start there.
It's also a
Don't
pandemic year.
like
Like, what is supposed to
what?
do?
What did y'all recognize that he had a all on Black History Month? He had an all black supporting cast. Did y'all recognize that? Or y'all was too busy critiquing the performance?
Ooh.
Also, there was
Man,
other people there. I thought it was just him.
you didn't notice the people in the background? There was
I
black
didn't watch
folks.
the show. I just saw
There
the
was black
meme.
folks. They was
Dog,
like
it
it's like a
was
choir effect.
The last
All the
Super
yeah.
Bowl
people on
show
the
I
on the
watched, the last Super Bowl show I watched, halftime show, was Beyonce with the Ravens 49ers. That was the last time I watched the halftime show.
Bruce. If the
Bro, there
audio was bad, bro, if the audio was bad though, that's one thing. But you can't critique him for the audio because that's on them folks. That's them folks broke ass equipment. You can't be mad at him. He was out there feeling everything coming down from his high. They ain't have enough coke in the city for that man. And he was out there running more yards than Tyreek Hill. Let's
they said
go.
he had more yards than Tyreek Hill in that.
Yo, bro. Shout out to the comments, dog. Tanya saying she gonna discuss off air the Steelers comments I made. Big Shot says if you got Brady, you got a 1-3 shot to win. While Danny in there, Dion saying YouTube gonna shut us down. Man, yo, shout out to I
Real
can't read
quick.
all these. Jay saying he almost
So
scored.
Mosif,
Bodyguards. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. These comments got me rolling.
hold on, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know that these people have to pay the NFL to do these halftime shows.
Oh
So
yeah.
the number this year for him was $7 million for him to get 13 minutes on that show. Like, in case anybody didn't know that, that was news to me.
You didn't know that?
Nah,
Oh yeah,
no.
man.
I said no to the Super Bowl. You need me, I don't need you.
Oh, every night we in the end zone. The NFL, we in
It's the
stadium.
stadiums too. Last night was
That's
a
Oh,
crazy.
fucking zoo. What? Man, take my money
uh,
fast and go. Fast, fast. What?
great song, by the
Man,
way.
what?
For those of y'all who don't know.
Your subpoenas and your misdemeanors was too busy touring out all your arenas. My passport is tatted. It look like it's act. Man, stop playing with me. Look, I ain't gonna look.
Y'all catch me in trick. You should have
That
stick
whole
going,
verse
but
is my life. That
yo,
whole verse,
dog.
it's just life. I'm just nice. Tonight I might raise my price. Great advice. Damn you, germ. Jesus Christ. I can do anything.
We need to raise our price. That's the show, y'all. We don't want to stay too long. We appreciate everybody in the comments. Danny, that comment unnecessary with the negativity, but we still love you.
Danielle, you will
Jerv
be
So
getting a phone
True,
call. I'm sending you.
yeah.
I'm sending you a bill in the mail.
Vic Jr., Mo Schefter. The last point we're gonna leave y'all with to wrap up the entire 2020 season: men lie, women lie, numbers lie. The only thing that don't lie
It's the view in the sky.
is the view from the 22.
Ooh,
Take us home,
okay.
True.
22. We out, y'all.